And Mark, what have I got new for 2009?
Well, as usual, any year in the zoo, there's an awful lot happening. But new for the year on the animal side is we've just brought in 3 new elephants who are great fun and well worth seeing. We've got giant anteater in the zoo for the first time. We've got a tree kangaroo in the zoo, which is just about to finish quarantine. She's the only one in the British Isles at the moment, so unique opportunity to see her. We've got capybara. We've got new birds. We've got hornbills and a whole range of new birds and some aviaries we've rebuilt recently. So lots of new things to come and look at. And last summer we opened a new rainforest house, and I dare say a lot of people haven't had the chance to see that. And that's a walk-through exhibit with birds and tortoises and bats and a sloth in it. So that's rather fun as well. So typically in the zoo year, there's a lot to come and see. Coming into the summer, we'd expect more babies and more things happening. So we're hoping for a tremendous 75th year.
My job in the zoo mainly involves marketing, communications and business development. So within the marketing and communications elements, we would work right across all functions in the zoo. So that would be things like advertising, public relations, digital or online web presence, and our new brand. And our team is responsible for the new zoo brand, which has won some awards as well, which we're really pleased about. And we'd also in the communications element would be responsible for public relations, and that would be working with media organisations to try and get our stories out there so that people know we have new animals, so people know that there's another news story in the zoo. And then also it's the business development side as well, and we work with new products in the zoo like animal adoption, which is a really successful product in the zoo. So if you're a real animal lover, you can adopt your favourite animal in the zoo, and then the proceeds of the animal adoption scheme come to help the zoo and help us do our work to protect the animals. We also have a more corporate sponsorship as well, which is aimed at bigger companies who want to take part in the work of the zoo, and corporates get a list of benefits from the zoo, such as animal enclosure sponsorship, and they get their brand at the zoo, and they get some PR, and they also get coverage of their brand in our annual publications. So we try and work with corporates and develop some relationships there as well.
And the zoo has a great international standing with other zoos around the world, and I take it there's a lot of cooperation when it comes to conservation and breeding.
That's right, exactly. We are known as a place that looks after animals really well in really world-class conditions. We're members of 3 global zoo organisations, and yes, we're constantly working with zoos and with breeding programmes to sort of improve our animal collection, as it were, and to make sure we're working with zoos around the world. I mean, just last week we brought in 2 new lemurs that came from Paris Zoo. The week before that we brought in a new male Francoise Langer from a zoo in China. So the work is ongoing. It's a huge part of our job is working with zoos right around the world.
So I suppose every day's different here, Joy, and you just never know what sort of stories you're going to be marketing from one day to the next.
Very unusual stories, Gary, and particularly this year for the 75th birthday. We had a really unusual story. We discovered old photographs that had been submitted to the zoo many years ago of one of our baby elephants during World War II that was looked after by a mystery lady in her back garden. And this was never documented in zoo history, and we thought, sort of as part of our 75th birthday celebrations, that we would need to bridge this gap on our history. So we launched a campaign and we released the photographs to try and find our elephant angel. And we knew this was Sheila the elephant, and Sheila was a young elephant when she came here. She was probably weighed about a ton in this photograph. She was probably a few years old, and what we found out from the campaign was that the lady's name was Denise Austin, who was one of the first female keepers in the zoo, and she walked Sheila the elephant from the zoo every evening down to her house in the Whitewell Road, and took the elephant into her back garden, fed the elephant, and it slept in her garage overnight. And she also took the elephant out for walks, so she did give it plenty of exercise. But unfortunately, as the story goes, one evening the elephant took fright after a dog had barked, and the dog ran into a back garden. The elephant followed her, and there was some damage done to a fence, and neighbours weren't too happy. And then, of course, they informed the zoo, and that is the first time, apparently, that the head keeper, Dick Foster, who was a very, very strict man, notorious for time, apparently, found out that Sheila had actually been leaving the zoo with one of the zookeepers.
So as we said, it's a 75th anniversary, Mark, and there's going to be lots for the public to see. So hopefully you're going to have a bumper year.
Yeah, we hope so. I mean, that starts right from the entrance to the zoo. This is our new entrance and gift shop, which was opened literally just a couple of weeks ago. Right from the entrance to the zoo, right round the zoo, there's new things happening, new plans. We're always planning and coming up with new ideas. So there's a lot. There are new events this summer. We already had a pretty packed events program, but that's getting even bigger every year. So animals, events, things to do in the zoo, things to see, facilities. It's a huge place and just getting better and better.